All right, we're going to talk about dividing a decimal by a whole number. And notice what I have below are three different ways we can express division, but it's the same problem. So for example, let's review first of all some of the terms associated with division. The number inside the division symbol is what we call the dividend. What we're dividing by is the divisor. And finally, the answer that we get in a division problem is called the quotient. So if the problem's written like I had it and labeled it there, those are the different parts of the division problem. Now if I look at, for example, below it, if it's written like this, okay, this is the dividend, and this is the divisor, what we're dividing by. Here, this is the dividend, the top number, and the bottom is the divisor, what we're dividing by. So just be familiar with how we label the different parts of a division problem. And again, our topic today is we're going to take a decimal and divide it by a whole number, or a number that's not a decimal. So how do we do this? Let's take a look at example 1. Now, I'm using the division bar on this. So how do you take 4.5 and divide it by 3? Well, first of all, we write it in the traditional division way. So 4.5 divided by 3. And all you do to take a decimal divided by a whole number is you move the decimal straight up, and now we just divide like normal. Let's see, 3 divides into 4, it'll go in there once. 1 times 3 is 3, now we subtract, and we bring down. Now divide again. 3 goes into 15. Let's see, 3 times 3 is 9, I can get closer. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5, remember I want to get as close to this number without going over. And notice that is 15, and I get a remainder of 0. So our quotient is 1.5. So 3 will divide into 4.5 1.5 times. So in other words, 3 people each paying, say, $1.50 will give us a total of $4.50 if this were a money problem. All right, let's take a look at example 2. Now, I'm going to write it the traditional division way. So 0.6 divided by 4. Move the decimal straight up. Let's see, 4 goes into 0 times. Bring down. 4 goes into 6. Will it go? It'll go once. Will it go twice? No, because 2 times 4 is 8. That's over my limit. So once is 4. 1 times 4 is 4. Now subtract, and I get a remainder of 2. Now, what do I do now since I have a remainder? Well, we add a 0, and we bring down. Remember, adding zeros to the end of a decimal doesn't change its value. In these type of problems that you're going to have in this lesson, eventually you want to get a remainder of 0. So now 4 goes into 20. Let's see, 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. And we get a remainder of 0. So my quotient is 0.15. All right, example 3. It's already written the traditional way. Move your decimal straight up. Let's see, 2 goes into 0 times. You know, and you can go through this process if you want. You don't have to with that. Bring down. Now, 2 goes into 1. You got to divide that. 2 goes into 1. Will it go once? No, because that's 2. That's over. 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract. Bring down. Let's see, 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 7. And we're going to get our remainder of 0 now. So 0.07. All right, example 4. 0.4 divided by 5. Move your decimal straight up. 5 goes into 0 times, which is 0. Bring down to 4. Let's see, how many times will 5 go into 4? Will it go once? No, that's too high, because 1 times 5 is 5. So 0 times. 0 times 5 is 0. Subtract. Add a 0, bring it down. 8 times is 40. And our quotient is 0.08. Again, eventually, on all these problems in this lesson, you will get a remainder of 0. Maybe not right away. You might have to add some zeros, but eventually you will. All right, last example. 4 divided into 0.3. move my decimal straight up. 4 goes into 0 0 times. Bring down. Now when you bring down, you have to divide. 4 into 3, 0, because 4, if I put it in there once, then I get 4 and that's too high. I get a remainder of 3, add a 0, bring it down. Let's see, how close can I get to 30 without going over? 4 times 7 is 28, 4 times 8 is 32, it's got to be 7. Remainder of 2, add a 0, bring down, because I don't have a remainder of 0 yet. Let's see, 4 into 20 is 5, which is 20, and I get my remainder of 0. So my quotient is 0.075. So this is called dividing a decimal by a whole number.